Namatu Ratana Tayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Them, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. So hello, good evening everyone. So today is Sunday the 4th of October 2020. And this is Ajahn Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. As usual, I'm here with you all tonight to be part of you and sharing some information and some Dhamma talk and Dhamma related to the Buddha's teachings and that we can apply in daily life. Hello Anish, and Patibha, and everyone. Today we had a small ceremony. We call it Katina Chivaradana. In fact, it's supposed to be a Katina Tusang, or the importance of the Katina, the complete or fullest ceremony we should organize. But due to this pandemic, the COVID-19, and the government's announcement not to have any gatherings at the center or at homes, we decided not to have the ceremony as in an open space that allowing everyone to come and join. We treated it as a home, so we allowed only a few members. So today there were only 4 members of the communities inside the cottage while we were doing this ceremony, as a mark to continue the tradition, a tradition that is passed down from the time of the Buddha, so 2,600 years ago. And it was broadcasted on Facebook Live, and I hope that some of you followed and listened and watched the ceremony itself. So morning session, normally at the center, we start off with the morning chanting at 10 o'clock. And that follows with the meditation, but today, due to this uncertain time, we did the special chanting. It's called blessing chanting, recollecting the important discourses from the time of the Buddha, about 9 discourses, 9 suttas. It is also known as the suttas for the protection. And these suttas are chanted whenever a householder invites monks in different occasions for the blessings to the person who invited, to the people and to the sentient beings in that room or in that surrounding. And this is a form of blessings as well as a protection. But today, this morning's chanting was mostly related for the blessings to all the members, those who have supported for this annual event, successful despite of a proper arrangement at the center. And after that, we had the traditional offering food to the venerable monks. And after that, a traditional way of a giving a talk which involves with invitation to a monk who is going to give a talk saying Brahma Jaloka Dipati Sahampati Katanjali Andivarang Ayachatha Santita Parachaka Chatika De Setu Dhammang Anukampi Mang Pachang, which basically is the words that the Lord Brahma Sahampati invited the Buddha after his enlightenment to give a talks, and which led to the Buddha to reflect again towards all the sentient beings. Apologies for this cold, because we have this rain 3 days continuously and still not stopped, and it seems like tonight is going to be no rain, and our front road was like a stream of water, and this cold is still around. So apologies for that. So after the Brahma, he paid respect to the Buddha and invited him to reconsider teaching. Then with the compassionate eyes, compassionate heart, Buddha looked at the sentient beings and found that there are different types of people in the world. Some needed a little bit more explanation, others can be enlightened within a few explanations, and some may need a detailed explanation, and others, doesn't matter how much you explain, the chance that they will understand is very slim. And yet it is our duty to go with a compassion to teach. So with this, Buddhism began to spread. Buddha himself traveled and gave talks in different places. And that's how Buddhism began. And this is a mark that in Thai tradition, whenever someone is going to give a traditional way of talk, then a householder normally pretend himself or herself as the representation of the Lord Brahma Sahampati and says these words. So today this is again the members of the community, those who were present, recited those verses and invited monk to give a talk. And Venerable Ajahn Pira, he gave a talk in Thai language, the significance of the Kathina ceremony. And why this is so important. And he also mentioned that due to this uncertain time of this COVID-19, the center obviously has to organize in this way form. And it is basically for the security, safety of our members. And one who is living with a heedless mind that this is just a fake, we have to remember now that in America or even in London, there are so many people pretending that this is just a fake news. And what happened? The cluster of this virus spread so rapidly. Today alone, around 10,000 people are tested for positive. in the UK. So it is important that we protect ourselves and keep ourselves away from this virus. So Venerable Pira was talking on the significance of the Katina and how it is disappointing not to have such an event, but at least for the continuation of the tradition, we did this ceremony at the center this afternoon. Along with that, Thantita Dhammo also gave some reflections in single language. I didn't understand what he was saying, but from what I gathered is also talking about the importance of the practice. So this is how the day went today. And one thing I must tell you all that this Katina ceremony, despite we haven't organized it should be in a grandeur way, but today I am so honored and so humbled that so many disciples and followers, well-wishers have contributed towards the center on this occasion. Since I announced last month about the Katina ceremony, continue from different places within the UK and outside of the country, giving donations for the Katina. And today, after I gathered every details, every pounds and every expected arrivals, in total it comes around £7,000. So I am feeling very, very honored and very thankful for your all generous donation towards the center. I know that this is a very difficult time to you and to the center. Many of you lost jobs. Many of you struggling with your own lives. As you are struggling, the center also going through similar way too. But however, this Katina ceremony that we organize today has demonstrated that you all are concerning about the well-being of the center and upkeeping of the center. And I feel very, very honored and appreciated for all the pennies that you have donated towards the center. From my bottom of heart, I really thank you all. Thank you for all your supports. And it reminds me that there are more jobs to be done. There are more things to be done. And I cannot rest yet. Although Buddha said that, since once you decided to become a monk, you have to leave homely life, the worldly life, basically becoming a professional homeless. We are in a way, real homeless people. I've seen so many homeless people out there on the streets, and I had a chance to sit with them and talk with them so many times, particularly during the time when we started the center. I used to go along the Union Street and sit with the homeless people, and talk to them. I even had a thought that they are real homeless people, whereas me as a monk, although I am regarded as a homeless, I still feel like I am not homeless because I have a roof over my head, there is a food to eat, and clothes to wear, shoes to wear. But they don't have the house or a roof over their head. And later I realized that although they don't have a roof over their head, but they have so much attachment to their belongings, attachment to their names, attachment to their friends, attachment to what they're going to get and how they can get it, so and so. And when I reflected on that, what I realized myself, that all what I think this is belongs to me is basically not belongs to me at all. The center itself, although I became the main person to establish this, but again, this is not belongs to me. Although in my leadership, I took the loan to buy this property to establish the center, and £360,000, and yet I do not feel the pressure that this belongs to me. I always thought and think and also kept thinking that this is not belongs to me. This belongs to the community. This belongs to the people. And this center belong to whoever wants to get some support and some help and come and learn Buddha's teachings and a meditation. I don't want to be that keeping it into my arms that this belongs to me. I always tell everyone as well that if someone can do better than me and look after this, I'm pretty well happy to give and go traveling. According to the Chinese horoscope, I am a horse, always wanting to collapsing at all the time, collapsing everywhere. But now I am tied up with this center. But I have taken this responsibility, and yet I don't have this sense of attachment and holding on to it. That's why whenever I go out for some conferences or retreats far east or even America or in Europe, once I leave the center, I leave the center. Hardly I call back and check what's going on. I leave entirely on someone who is here. Like last year, I was in Thailand for 4 months. Ajahn Pita was here. Believe me, I never call asking that how the center is. I never ask. I left entirely on his decision. Whatever he wants to do, whatever he wants to develop or destroy, I left entirely in his decision. Similarly, early this year, I went to Thailand for another 1 month retreat, meditation retreat, training to be a meditation teacher. Then again, I never contact and never ask. So when I leave the center, I do leave the center. And yet, whenever I come back, again, I have to take all the responsibilities. So that's why I always think that I am just a caretaker of this entire center, although I still have to pay this £360,000 for this purchase. But I do not feel that pressure, because it's belong to the whole community. I offer it to the community. And because of that sense of offering, giving it to the community, I feel lighter, greater, feel free and much joy. That's why, in that sense, again, when I reflected that, what is belongs to me, then I normally look at myself. What is belongs to me? Then a belonging belongs to me is, in a simple term, is this piece of robe or set of clothes, the set of this robe, my passport. And that's it. And the rest I can leave. Yeah. And this, yesterday, day before yesterday, I think I was just reflecting and even talking to another monk that when I became a novice, and then when I traveled to Thailand for the first time, I had only small, small bag that I bought it when I was in a college. It was 500 rupees bag, which I collected money saving from my travel and eating, and end of the day I bought that bag, so it's usable in our arts campus. And the same bag I used it when I went to Thailand. Nothing in there, just a set of a robe, 2 books, I think 2 or 3 books. That's it. I went to Thailand. And over the period of a time of living there over 5-6 years, I have accumulated so much books and so much materials. And always I give them whoever asks. I never kept. And similarly, when I came to UK, I came with 1 bag. But this bag was little full, many things then compared to going to Thailand. And I traveled from temple to temple, stayed in a temple by temple after temple for a couple of days, a couple of months or a year. And I always traveled with a set of clothes. And there was 1 book after I came to UK. I always keep it with myself. Was my notebook from the university, so I can go back and reflect. And the rest of other items I always left behind. And somehow wherever I went, all the other material things just accumulates. And I always try to let it go and give it to the people, take away. And the more you give, the more it comes. When I was in Thailand, in the temple where I was, our previous teacher, previous abbot, he was a very great meditation master, and he was known as the great meditation master of teaching on the crystal bowls called Dhammakaya meditation. His philosophy is that the more you give, the more you get. And when I was in that temple, I never thought, and I always questioned to myself that that's not right. It can't be. The more you give, you will lose everything. Like that. But gradually, as I become responsible so many things and learning to let go and give and share with other people, gradually I realize that it is true. The more you give with your hearts, the more you get. I think about when I was in the city in Aberdeen, I was living in a small flat, a ground floor flat. Very limited things and limited space. And when I moved in this place, the large open space with the cottage and with the garage, and now, believe me, if you come to the temple and check these rooms, full of stuffs. I don't know where this came from. And always giving to the people, take away, and somehow never ever empty. New things always arriving, new things always coming. That's why it gives me confidence that the more you give, the more it comes. But the more you keep, and this is another way to think, the more you try to keep, then you will have only what you keep, and even that will decrease slowly by slowly. Yeah? So that's why, from this, what I gathered, and that, from reflecting that, as a monk, it's like a real homeless, sort of a homeless and a homeless. You may be living in this house, in this temple, but you're not having any attachment to this house that this belongs to me, but being just a good carer and ready to leave at any time, any moment, without having any attachment to it at all. So that's why when I was reflecting on that, I think I become a really homeless. And what I have any belongings that will come to me. Only good things that I have done. Only good things that I have accumulated, or things. Good memories that I can take away. Rest I have to leave behind. As there is a saying, I came with nothing, empty hand. And now I have to go empty hand too. So whatever I have accumulated, or we have accumulated during this time, why should we have this attachment? Learn to let go. End of the day, we have to leave anyway. Why not we try to let go from the beginning, since we are still mindful, consciousness are still sharp. So with this reflection, I would like to thank you all for all your support, all your generosity, and all your kindness to keep the center alive, to keep the center, to continue this contribution to you all. And thank you. With this, may you all be well and happy. May the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. May you be liberated and liberated. In a few minutes' time, we're going to have a chanting and guided meditation. You're most welcome to join with us. Until then, good night and see you tomorrow. Take care.